The scene opens at the ancient gate of a sect. Inside a room, a fat man keeps eating while a skinny man paces back and forth impatiently. The skinny man finally speaks up. It's been 3 months already. Exactly 3 months without any news. Tell me, what should we do? Annoyed, the skinny man snatches a corn cob from the fat man's hand. Eat, eat, eat. Senior brother is always eating. Is that all you know how to do? Even if you're anxious, you can't just steal my corn. People are iron, food is steel. Skip one meal and you'll be starving. Resolutely, the skinny man throws the corn towards the door. The master and elders have all gone to Shan Kong Island to protect our sects, ranking at the Tong Gong Grand Meeting next month. Do you know how serious the situation is? The fat man raises both hands in a carefree gesture. His expression shows he doesn't care much. Even if the master and elders return, I don't think we can hold our position. In the past decade, so many new sects have appeared. Our decline is just a matter of time. Hearing this, the skinny man becomes even more indignant. Senior brother, is that what you should be saying? Our Unken sect used to be a top-tier sect, very famous. It's just that our luck hasn't been good lately. Are we really going to cut off the path for our juniors just because of a few unlucky years? The fat man smiles, stands up calmly, and sticks out his belly like a drum. Junior brother, calm down. I'll give you a hint. What hint? Hurry and tell me, the skinny man urges. The fat man points toward the high mountain peak in the distance. Over there. Over there? What's over there? The skinny man looks confused at the smug fat man. You mean to invite that person to come down the mountain? That's right. Because that's a big shot who can change the current situation. The scene shifts to another location. A young man stands beside a yellow buffalo with shiny, glossy skin. You're the buffalo brother, Chong, the young man says with a smile. Today we've enjoyed the breeze and eaten enough grass. If master asks, you have to keep it a secret for me, okay? The buffalo turns its face and winks, showing off its new porcelain teeth, making a moo-moo sound, meaning it agrees to cooperate. The young man immediately gives a thumbs up. Pleased, Brother Chong, you're so righteous. Suddenly, from deep inside a cave, a voice calls out, Ranger. Wang knew who was calling him. He stretched his arms and leisurely walked in. Master, I'm here now, he said, coming to attention. He also saw a black dog barking at his feet. The female cat at the foot of the mountain is in heat, the young man said. I think that's quite good. Why don't you go and breed them? Get lost, little brother. I'm not into that kind of thing, the black dog barked back. Don't tease me. Damn, it's just a cat, and you're acting all dramatic. If it doesn't go into heat completely in a few days, we'll have to neuter it. Brother, to prevent future gynecological diseases, the black dog replied seriously. A moment later, Wang's voice echoed again. Master, it's very sunny outside today. Let's go out and sunbathe. Sitting nearby was an old man with a white beard. The old man seemed to understand Wang well and asked, Did you leave Chong in the field, then sneak into the town at the foot of the mountain to play? Wow, you guessed it right, Wang replied, but added quickly, I'll never admit it, even if I die. No way, no way. If you don't believe me, ask Brother Chong. I was really with him from start to finish. If I'm lying, may I be struck by lightning. The old man's face was wrinkled, unclear if it was due to illness or boredom from talking to Wang. The young man appeared listless, his eyes clouded with addiction. He thought to himself, could this old man have the heavenly eye? How could he have guessed what I've done? In a moment, as if reading Wang's thoughts, the old man's expression turned furious. The old man shouted loudly, Impudent! He waved his hand, sending out a bolt of lightning that rushed toward Wu Yong, a powerful strike that shook heaven and earth. The cave cracked as if about to collapse. The sound was so thunderous that even Brother Chong, grazing outside, had to stop and pay attention. Wu Yong stood amid thick smoke and dust, mouth agape, panicking. Master, what are you doing? The old man returned to his calm, meditative state and said slowly, "Didn't you say that if you lied, you'd be struck by lightning? I'm just carrying out heaven's will." The young man pointed at the holes caused by the old man's technique and said, "You didn't need to use celestial thunder, did you? Look at this heavenly cave, there are big holes everywhere you've struck. Why don't we just rename our place the Heavenly Eye Cave?" "Well done, you little brat," the old man replied, amused. "Daring to talk back to your master." Wu Yong broke out in a sweat and hurriedly ran to massage the old man's back, flattering him. "How could I? I seriously complete the tasks you give me every day. I'm grateful for your nurturing and love." The old man asked, "Since I picked you up until today, how many years has it been?" 19 years, master," Wu Yong replied. "Oh, only 19 years, the old man said. "I thought it had been 100 years already. You old man, you're only a few decades old, but already acting like the others, silly." At that moment, a shout came from outside the cave. "Disciple Woi! Disciple Wu Care pays respects to Jade Clarity, true person." Looking out from the cave entrance, they saw the fat and skinny men from earlier standing there respectfully, clasping their hands. The old man said, "Come in." As soon as they entered, the two fell to their knees, crying and wailing. "Jade Clarity Immortal, a major incident has occurred. The master and elders went to Shen Kong Island seeking fortune, but I fear it will bring more harm than good. The Tiangang conference next month will determine the fate of our sect. Our sect has few members, but we still have some senior and junior disciples to support us, so there is still a chance to maintain our position at the bottom of the rankings. However, without the sect leader seal, we won't qualify to participate in the Tiangang conference and will be directly disqualified. In recent days, our sect has discussed this several times, and everyone feels unqualified to inherit the position of sect leader. So, we have an unreasonable request. We know that you, Immortal, have long since retired from worldly affairs, but this situation has arisen suddenly, and we truly have no other option." Jade Clarity frowned, his eyes full of doubt. "You want me to replace the position of sect leader, don't you?" "Immortal, rest assured, it's only temporary. After the Tongan conference ends, we won't hinder your continued cultivation anymore." The old man reached out and grabbed Wang's robe tail to urge the young man to leave. Hearing this, Wang's jaw dropped, his face contorted as if constipated. The thin man kneeling below was a bit confused and thought to himself, although this young man is the Immortal's direct disciple, he looks only about 18 or so. How much ability can he really have? Wu Yong scratched his head, sweating helplessly, thinking, this damn old man is trying to play me again. Jade Clarity Immortal said, "I have sworn a blood oath not to come down the mountain again. This young man is your grand-uncle, Wu Yong. Although he is young, he is a very trustworthy person." Wu Yong was confused and thought, at my age, being someone's grand-uncle isn't that a bit inappropriate? Although in terms of seniority, there's no problem, it's still quite embarrassing. But the thin man kneeling below stammered, wanting to say something but unable to speak. "What, do you look down on the person this old man recommends?" Jade Clarity Immortal's eyes turned white with displeasure. Wu Yong scratched his head, sweating nervously. "Master, I feel this matter isn't very comfortable either. Why don't you reconsider?" He thought to himself, "You're happy and carefree, leaving this troublesome matter to me." Just then, as if sensing a cold chill behind him, he glanced back. "Oh no. I rejected the food she cooked. A storm is brewing." Jade Clarity, enraged, raised his hand and conjured a bolt of lightning. "What did you say?" Wu Yong quickly jumped away, deflecting the strike. "Ah. Why did I forget to feed the mountain birds?" The fat man smiled ingratiatingly, clasped his hands and said, "If the Immortal has recommended our little granduncle, then let's decide on this matter." Before he finished speaking, a loud boom 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 erupted. A large explosion filled the cave with white smoke and dust. Wu Yong was sweating profusely, thinking, luckily, I escaped quickly. Looking back, it turned out the fat guy had helped No Rung block an extremely powerful attack. No Rung lay in a heap on the ground, mouth still exhaling white smoke, groaning, "Please, master, have mercy." The scene changes to the next day. The young man, No Rung, sits on a chair, his eyes like those of an addict, still sleepless. The fat guy clasps his hands, grinning widely, and says, "This is our newly appointed sect leader, the only direct disciple of Jade Clarity True Person. You can call him sect leader, or you can call him little granduncle." The disciples below whisper among themselves. Has our immortal sect really run out of people? This is clearly just a wet behind the ears kid. Why didn't Jade Clarity True Person come down the mountain? If True Person were here, forget about last place, we might even make it into the top 3. The second and eldest senior brothers? Why do they act like nothing's wrong? No wrong. Hearing everything, No Rung feels discouraged and helpless, thinking to himself, I heard it all. The skinny guy raises his hand, coughs, and says seriously, "Do you doubt True Person's judgment?" The disciples glance at each other without answering, then simultaneously clasp their hands and bow. Sect leader, grand uncle, please accept a bow from your disciples. No need for such formalities. There will be an official sect leader ceremony later. You all go back to work for now, No Rung replies. Yes, understood. They turn and disperse, each returning to their own task. No Rung sits with his chin in his hand, closes his eyes, and sighs wearily. The fat and skinny guys approach respectfully. Sect leader, there's something we want to remind you about. Please speak. Before the Heavenly Gong Assembly, there will be fellow cultivators from other sects coming to interact. At that time, sect leader, you just need to. No Rung was stunned, not understanding at all. The fat guy raised his hand and whispered with a reassuring expression, at that time, little grand uncle just needs to neither listen nor speak. Just pretend to be a master, that's all. The scene changes to No Rung sitting and eating grass with Big Brother Kwong. You hear that? Good or bad, I'm now the leader of a sect. Feeding you grass isn't quite appropriate anymore. How about I choose a beautiful girl from the sect for you? Eyes on the beauty. The buffalo, chewing grass, gave a satisfied moo. Chewing grass is also good for digestion, you know. Seeing Big Brother Kwong not responding but just chewing continuously and mooing, No Rung then asked, Is it okay? The 3 of us, a person, a buffalo, and a cat, living together every day? What kind of combination is this? He leaned back and looked up at the sky. So boring. It's been over half a month since leaving the Heavenly Eye Cave. Every day it's just distinguishing disciples and grand disciples, then receiving congratulations from envoys of other sections. It feels like everything has changed. While lamenting the boredom of life, a voice suddenly called out, Old ancestor! A kid ran over breathlessly, waving his arms frantically. Old ancestor, it's time to meet the guests. Hearing this, No Rung felt discouraged. He lowered his head and closed his eyes, feeling extremely annoyed. All right, I'm going now, the young man said annoyedly, spitting out the grass in his mouth. Then he stood up, stretched, and let out a long sigh. Time for the hard work again. This must be the last batch, right? With hands on his hips, No Rung slowly returned to the sect. The scene changed to a moment after No Rung had returned and sat down. The skinny guy briefly introduced the information about the arriving guest. Sect leader, grand uncle, the visitor is Lu Rousey from the Lingsha sect. What kind of sect is this Lingsha sect again? What school is it? I've forgotten everything, No Rung said helplessly. Gwinner grabbed a stick and pointed, saying, Grand uncle, I'll explain it to you again today. Please don't forget any more, I'm very tired. In his heart, No Rung pondered what Jade Clarity True Person had said. What exactly did he mean? This little ancestor still doesn't remember a single sect. The Lingsha sect currently ranks first in the Earth realm. There are rumors they hope to advance to the Heavenly Realm sections this year. The Lingsha sect excels in magic, like illusions. The sect uses Lu as their surname. After joining and passing the test, disciples change their surname to Lu. Lu Rousey, who is coming today, is a favorite disciple of Lu, the junior sect leader. His younger sister Louis is also a young generation disciple who could inherit the position of sect leader. Hearing this, No Rung's eyes lit up and he repeatedly gave thumbs up. Gwinner, you truly are the encyclopedia of the Yunnan sect. You know everything. I understand the situation now, let him in. Gwinner raised his hand and whispered, Sect leader, grand uncle, that thing, no need to remind me. I understand. Don't speak. Just pretend to be a master, right? Simple, don't worry. Gwinner clasped his hands behind his back. Sect leader, grand uncle is naturally intelligent. He's been pretending so well for half a month. As long as we get through today safely without being discovered acting, our Yunnan sect can be considered stable before the Heavenly Gong Assembly. Yes, yes. He raised his hand to his mouth and coughed, then put on a serious expression. Please welcome the envoy Lu Rousey of the Lingsha sect. A young man with an elegant demeanor walked in. As his footsteps touched the doorway, he immediately cast an illusion, creating a formation on the ground. Oh my, No Rung saw this and was a bit surprised. Looking over, the young man raised his hand and greeted, I am Lu Rousey of the Lingsha sect, specially here to congratulate the newly appointed sect leader of the Yunnan sect. As he spoke, he gestured behind him where two disciples struggled, carrying a large chest as they entered. This is a small gift from the Lingsha sect. Please accept it. No Rung said nothing but just smiled gently, though his look was quite rude. Rousey frowned and thought to himself, I've heard that this new sect leader of the Yunnan sect is the direct disciple of Jade Clarity True Person. To be able to sit in the sect leader position at such a young age, it seems he must have some real skills. However, the Yunnan sect currently ranks last in the Earth realm, and Jade Pure True Person hasn't emerged from seclusion. Moreover, when I just entered and used my magic, no one had any reaction. I guess at the Heavenly Gong Assembly, there won't be anything special. No Rung's face remained expressionless as he stared at Lu Rousey. Seeing this, Rousey began to sweat nervously. This isn't good. This young man's eyes weren't ordinary. They looked like the eyes of a youth but clearly carried the depth and mystery of a Sarian, deep and unfathomable. Thinking this, Rousey was struck by a sudden realization that made him anxious. Cold sweat ran down his back. Could it be that he is Lu Rousey himself? No Rung wasn't faring any better. He looked at Lu Rousey while sweating profusely. Why is this Lu Rousey staring at me so intently? Could it be that he's discovered I'm just pretending to be an expert? Is my facial expression not right? Lu Rousey thought to himself. He must have noticed that I used illusion magic when I entered. I thought I had been very careful. Snapping out of his thoughts, Lu Rousey clasped his hands and bowed. Now that I've met the sect leader, I've completed my sect mission. I will take my leave now, if you don't mind. Gwinner, standing beside him and having been waiting for this moment, decisively waved his hand to bid farewell. Lu Rousey clasped his hands behind his back and slowly turned to leave. After he left, both No Rung and Gwinner held their heads and collapsed, sighing in relief. Damn, being an actor is not easy, No Rung said. Gwinner, how was my facial expression just now? Ah, not bad, Gwinner replied. Then he turned and asked, What's wrong with you? Do you have a headache? Noran smiled. I don't know why, but ever since Lu Rousey entered, I've been feeling dizzy and seeing spots. It must be from overworking lately. No Rung stood up and placed his two hands, glowing like two flames as they emitted spiritual energy, on Gwinner's shoulders, encouraging him. I'm fine, Gwinner. You've worked hard. Then, casually walking toward the door, No Rung said, The job's done. I'm going to the backyard to visit Big Brother Kwang and Brother Tran. They're probably hungry by now. Watching No Rung's back as he left, Gwynner adopted a respectful attitude toward his elder and bowed to the sect leader grand uncle. He walked slowly, but in his heart was amazed. I was just feeling dizzy and about to fall, but grand uncle touched me lightly, and I already feel healthy again. Scene changes to Kungtai 7. This is Fun Tien City, the place established for sect members to stay after leaving the Unken sect. Lu Rousey returned to the Kungtai 7 Guild Hall. He went into a room already full of people and announced, "I'm back." A girl in white clothes spoke up to greet Lu Rousey. "Brother, did you meet Jade Pure True Person today?" This girl was Lu Ebi, Lu Rousey's younger sister. He replied, "I only met the legendary new sect leader. I'm afraid Jade Pure True Person is still in seclusion." An old man sitting behind spoke up. Several elders of the Yinan sect seem to be in seclusion with Jade Pure True Person as well. It's been 19 years now, but there's still no sign of them coming out, as if they've all vanished into thin air. After Rousey sat down, the old man continued to ask, "But what about the new sect leader of the Yinan sect?" Lu Rousey hesitated. How should I put it?" At that moment, a young man sitting with his arms crossed and legs propped up spoke up. "I heard that although he's True Person's disciple, he's only a few years older than me. Aren't the leaders of other sects cultivators with hundreds of years of experience? I'm afraid the Yunnan sect really is in trouble. Rumor has it their elders and leaders suddenly encountered a calamity. They must have truly run out of people if they let a snot-nosed kid become the sect leader." I noticed Rousey's silence and asked, "Brother, what are you thinking about?" Rousey raised his fan and replied, "Today, as soon as I entered, I used illusion magic. This illusion magic can only be sensed by those who have cultivated the heavenly killing body to a certain level. But the reactions of the steward and sect leader were very strange. I don't know if they didn't notice or if they intentionally didn't expose me. And that sect leader kept smiling the entire time without saying a word. It's really mysterious." IBI offered her opinion. "The position of sect leader isn't child's play. I think the Unken sect must have a reason for promoting True Person's disciple to this position. The incident that happened to the Yen sect may not have a big impact, but we should still pay attention to avoid causing any disturbance. No matter what, in this heavenly gong assembly, our Lingsha sect must maintain its Earth realm position. Only by keeping our Earth realm status do we have a chance to ascend to the heavenly realm. This has always been Master's expectation." Hearing this, the old man stroked his beard and praised, "Ebi, you've really grown up. The future is indeed promising." Scene changes to the kitchen of Yun sect. At this moment, the fire was blazing in the stove. No Rung held a stick in one hand and wiped sweat from his brow with the other, asking, "Little Seven, is the fire big enough?" This fatty little Seven was paired with the skinny one, Gwynner. "I remember now," No Rung said. Little Seven opened the steamer lid, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath, feeling the aroma spreading. "Phew, hot, hot. It's enough, little granduncle. It's very hot." But the fatty still managed to grab 2 buns and started eating right away, afraid they'd be gone. "Little Seven, every time I see you eat, it makes me very happy," sect leader grand uncle said. "I didn't expect you to be such an amazing cook. Your skills are even better than the master chef at the restaurant." "No, when we were on the mountain, all the meals for that old man were cooked by me. At first, he doubted my cooking was too ordinary, so I went down the mountain to learn some skills." "That's right, Gwynner. He often talks about the heavenly and earthly realms of sects and such. Every time he mentions it, I find it very confusing. Can you explain it to me again?" Little Seven stuffed a bun in his mouth until his cheeks puffed out and replied, "The levels of sects are divided into 3 tiers: heaven, earth, and mystic. 100 years ago, cultivation wasn't very popular. Suddenly, one night, something happened, and everyone seemed to start cultivating frantically. Since then, besides those big sects, many new sects have also risen up. When sects started popping up like mushrooms, many class issues also emerged. Some sects, under the banner of cultivation, did dirty things. As time passed, the imperial court felt that leaving it unmanaged would cause problems, so they issued an imperial decree. Only sects of the heaven, earth, and mystic realms are allowed to exist. New sects are only given 15 years to prove themselves. The Heavenly Gong Assembly is a competition where the top 3 Earth realm sects compete for a chance to ascend to the Heaven realm. Once a sect enters the Heaven realm, they gain access to far greater resources. The Mystic sect is actually an imperial sect, Little Seven continued. They're responsible for managing all the others. No Rung, chewing on a grass stem, asked thoughtfully, so the Mystic sect must be incredibly powerful, huh? Little Seven was absorbed in his explanation. They say it's filled with the world's top experts, but who knows for sure? Either way, most of the spirit beasts in the forests and the spiritual herb resources are controlled by the Mystic sect. Sects like ours, third-rate ones, can only scavenge from what's left behind. No Rung frowned. If what you're saying is true, then if our Yunnan sect drops out of the Earth realm, we'll only have 15 years left to survive? Exactly, Little Seven replied. And if we can't climb back into the Earth realm within 10 years, we'll be disbanded. I've never heard of any sect making a comeback after falling out. Losing Earth realm status means losing support from the Imperial Court, and from the people's faith. In the past half-month, he went on, I noticed most disciples in our Yunnan sect have only cultivated to the earth-killing body. That's just the beginner level. Meanwhile, that Lu Rousey who visited us this morning came from the former lowly sect, where everyone has reached the heaven-killing body. We've already lost before the competition even begins. He sighed. All we can do is take it one step at a time and leave it to fate. At least now we have a sect leader who's qualified to enter the competition. And honestly, we've been lucky to maintain a top position for so long. No Rung patted Little Seven on the shoulder and jokingly pointed at his belly. You've got great foresight. If our Yunnan sect disappears, does that mean I'll lose my home too? That's right, little granduncle, Little Seven nodded. When that time comes, why don't we open a tavern together? My master is getting old, staying in that heavenly cave all day. I can't bear to leave him, so maybe I'll become a chef. This Heavenly Gong Assembly needs more discussion. By the way, I can't participate, right? No Rung asked. Little Seven took another bite of his bun and replied, The Heavenly Gong Assembly is a trial for young disciples. Elders probably aren't allowed. Hearing this, No Rung lowered his head and sighed. Then suddenly, he smirked mischievously and asked with a sly look, Taking medicine before the competition isn't against the rules, right? Still chewing, Little Seven asked, What medicine? What kind? No Rung blushed and grinned. Just something I've been experimenting with. I don't know if it works, but when I take it, I feel super healthy. I want to let the disciples try it too. Little Seven gave him a sidelong glance while holding his bun. You mean an elixir? That's not illegal. Elixirs are part of cultivation too. Scene changes to Little Loli walking toward a room. This was the alchemy room of the Yunnan sect, once managed by Elder No Sanhu. But now that Elder No Sanhu had vanished, just like so many others, the room felt cold and deserted. Loli held a bowl of spirit herbs in her hands. Granduncle, all the ingredients you asked for are here. No Rung took the bowl, smiled, and said, Thank you. She looked confused and asked, Granduncle, what kind of elixir are you planning to make? Is it poison? I see blue snake flower in this batch. That's poisonous, isn't it? No, No Rung said, placing one hand on his hip and raising the other like a lecturer. How can blue snake flower be poisonous? I used it to make pills last time. After eating them, nothing happened. Her expression turned to shock. A massive question mark practically floated over her head. She stroked her chin, clearly puzzled. Its petals do have toxic properties. But my master told me it's very nourishing. Although I did have stomach aches a few times after taking it. Grand uncle, she said seriously, one bunch of blue snake flower can kill 10 spirit beasts. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Could it be you meant blue silver flower instead? Blue silver flower is also used for nourishing qi and improving one's complexion. Hearing this, No Rung froze, his face turning pale with fright. What? You're not messing with me, are you? She covered her mouth thoughtfully and said, although I haven't been here long and my master disappeared soon after I arrived, I clearly remember the classifications and effects of various herbs. I'm absolutely certain. You said these ingredients mixed together might trigger a reaction. That's possible. The properties of some herbs can interact and transform. Even extremely poisonous things can sometimes become nourishing if mixed correctly. Before she could finish, No Rung abruptly poured the entire bowl of spirit herbs into the alchemy furnace. Let's just make it first and see, he said, stretching and yawning, clearly tired. Wake me up after 3 incense sticks have burned. I'm going to take a nap. Yes, grand uncle, Tutu replied. Soon after, No Rung climbed onto the bed and fell asleep almost immediately. Tutu quietly closed the door behind her, still worried. Is grand uncle even reliable? Scene change 3 incense sticks later. Tutu burst into the room, shouting, Grand uncle! Time's up! Her shadow loomed over No Rung, who was still curled up in a very comfortable sleeping position. He sat up groggily, yawning and rubbing his eyes. Oh, I'm awake now! As he stumbled toward the alchemy furnace, Tutu asked, Grand uncle, are you always this sleepy lately? I guess I've been a bit drowsy, he replied, still stretching. It might be from constantly meeting guests. I sit down and half the day just vanishes. Without any hesitation, No Rung began knocking on the alchemy furnace with his fist. Tutu raised her hands to her mouth in alarm. Grand uncle, are you really going to handle it directly like that? No Rung turned around and shook his wrist as if it were no big deal. 3 huge imaginary question marks hovered above his head. How else should I do it? Then, to her shock, he reached his hand directly into the blazing furnace. I've always done it this way. My iron hands are invulnerable. A few moments later, he pulled out 2 elixir pills. Or at least, what looked like pills. In reality, they looked like 2 small, lumpy black balls. They look about the same as last time, he murmured, casually bringing one to his mouth. Grand uncle, no, please don't eat it. Tutu panicked, waving both hands frantically. But he had already popped the pill into his mouth, and was chewing contentedly. Tastes the same as before. I must have remembered the formula correctly, he said cheerfully. Are you sure it's not poisonous? Tutu asked nervously. No Rung turned to her, holding the second pill out with a grin. Here. Try a piece. She backed away immediately, hands waving. And no need. I'm fine. Just then, they noticed Gwyn walking past outside the door. No Rung raised his fist excitedly and called out, Gwyn, I have something for you. Gwyn, the sect leader, bowed politely. Yes, grand uncle? No Rung held out the second pill. I just made this. Try it. Gwyn froze, staring at the lumpy black ball in his palm. He carefully picked it up between 2 fingers and tilted his head, a look of revulsion on his face. Is this feces? Seeing the strange pill still emitting a foul odor, Gwyn asked in disbelief, Grand uncle. You made this? Why does it smell so disgusting? No Rung stood firm, lowering his center of gravity like he was striking a serious pose. Yes. Gwyn's face turned pale green. This isn't even fully formed. This doesn't look like an elixir at all. Without missing a beat, No Rung snatched the pill back from Gwyn's hand. The shape's just a bit rough, that's all. Let your little grand uncle refine it for you. He began molding it in his hands like dough. Don't be picky. Look at stinky tofu, it smells awful, but it tastes amazing. I've always taken pills like this. They're actually really good. After a moment of reshaping, he proudly presented a round, shiny elixir ball. Isn't this better? Gwyn reached out with a trembling hand, clearly terrified. I've never heard of reshaping pills like that. Is this really how alchemy works? He thought to himself, this little brat really can't be trusted. Clarity true person must be getting old. Even his judgment has started to falter. No Rung took Gwyn's hand and firmly placed the pill into his palm. Come on, hurry and try it. But just as the pill reached Gwyn's hand, a chubby arm shot out from the side. Nice try, Gwyn, hiding tasty treats from me. Tuda snatched the pill and, without a second thought, tossed it straight into his mouth. Wait! Gwyn panicked, trying to stop him, but Tuda was already chewing with delight. Soft and not bad at all. Tastes kinda like stinky tofu, he said with a satisfied expression, hugging his stomach like he was in bliss. Then he turned and smirked. Why are you looking at me like that? Just ate a piece of your tofu, not your house. Gwyn placed one hand on his knee and bent down in frustration. Then, putting a firm hand on Tuda's shoulder and pointing at No Rung, he said, Brother, what you just ate was a pill made by the sect leader's grand uncle. Gwyn suddenly grabbed Tuda by the neck and tried to make him vomit. Spit it out. We don't know if it's poisonous. How can you just eat strange pills? What if something happens? Tuda jumped back, cocking. Junior brother, are you crazy? I almost choked to death. It's just a pill, what's the big deal? No Rung stood with his hands on his hips, grinning. So, Tuda. Feeling refreshed. Gwyn, now practically fuming, shouted, Are you both trying to give me a heart attack? Tuda clutched his stomach and looked away. Well, how should I put it? Before he could finish, a loud PPPPBBT sound came from behind him. His face turned pale as he began to sweat profusely. Ouch! My stomach. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Gwyn held on to him. I told you not to eat it. But no, you had to be a glutton. One day it's going to get you killed. It's killing me. Junior brother, I need the bathroom now. It's too late. Tuda bolted like a rocket, leaving a trail of smoke behind as he ran to the restroom. Meanwhile, No Rung turned to Gwyn and winked. Relax, Gwyn. That pill I gave him was just a tonic. The stomachache must have been from something else he ate earlier. As Tuda finally reached the bathroom and slammed the door shut, loud pop-pop-pop sounds echoed from inside. Seated on the toilet, he gripped the edges tightly, his teeth clenched as he yelled in pain. Suddenly, golden light burst from beneath him, shooting upward in a radiant beam. Outside, No Rung wrapped an arm around Gwyn's shoulder. Now, Gwyn, about the heavenly gone assembly. I have some questions. Remind me again what the sect leader's grand uncle said? It's great you're taking it seriously. Just then, a massive boom shook the area. Heavens! Gwyn gasped as a blinding light, like a second sun, burst from the bathroom. Both he and No Rung instinctively turned around. From the broken-down bathroom door, thick white smoke and dust swirled outward in a shockwave. Gwyn dropped to all fours and scrambled toward the bathroom in a panic. Senior brother, are you okay? Little Seven. The bathroom door had completely fallen off its hinges. No Rung and Gwyn both raised their hands and shouted, Senior brother, are you all right? Little Seven. From the smoke, Little Seven emerged, shining like a star, calmly adjusting his clothes. Gwyn ran to him and asked in disbelief, Senior brother, what happened in there? Little Seven simply beamed with joy. It feels so good to be out. He rushed over and grabbed No Rung's hand tightly. Sect leader grand uncle, your medicine is incredible. I feel like all my organs, my 6 organs and 5 viscera, have been completely revitalized. My blood and chi are boiling. If the sect disciples take this too, wouldn't they instantly ascend from Earth Killer to Heaven Killer? Noran blinked. Really? I didn't feel anything like that. Seventh brother was moved to tears. There's hope. Hope for reviving the Yunnan sect. We're saved. Sect leader granduncle, do you have more of that medicine? If you want more, I'll refine some, Norung said casually. The more, the better. Let's distribute it to all the disciples. He raised his hand to his mouth and shouted in the direction of the alchemy room, prepare a few dozen more sets of ingredients. Scene change. The next day all the disciples had gathered outside a room, whispering among themselves. Did you hear? The bathroom exploded yesterday. Could it be related to what's happening now? I heard the sect leader is giving everyone a special gift. Just then, Gwyn stepped out holding a tray filled with pills. This is medicine personally refined by the sect leader, he announced. Each person take one. A disciple took a pitch-black pill, held it up, and examined it with suspicion. Tutu also took a pill and studied it carefully. Is it really safe? Could there be poison in it? Then, with a determined expression, she said, forget it. Big senior brother took it yesterday and didn't die. It must have some effect. She popped the pill into her mouth and swallowed it whole. Gwyn walked over quickly, raising a hand to his mouth. Tutu, go to the bathroom first. Slowly. Huh? Why? Tutu's eyes widened. Just go. It's a direct order from your two senior brothers. Don't ask questions, just go. With some hesitation, Tutu hurried off as murmurs and gasps spread through the crowd. Gwyn watched her go with a sorrowful look. Little junior sister. This is all I can do to help you now. Moments later the medicine began to take effect. One disciple suddenly clutched his stomach, gritting his teeth in agony. Aya! My guts! Another collapsed to the ground, trembling and soaked in sweat. One by one, the disciples screamed and scrambled toward the bathrooms, their faces contorted in pain. Let me go first. I can't hold it. Move. It's coming out, get out of the way. The chaos intensified as pounding echoed on the bathroom doors. Hurry up in there. Please. I'm going to explode. Inside, brilliant beams of light shot from the bathrooms, piercing the air. The disciples outside stopped and stared in awe as glowing rays burst into the sky, merging into a single radiant column that lit up half the sect grounds. Clutching their stomachs, drenched in sweat, the disciples gazed up, dumbfounded. Suddenly, one of them staggered, eyes wide, and bent over as if he could no longer resist. From his central orifice, a blinding beam of spiritual energy shot up into the air. Then another, and another. Countless glowing pillars erupted skyward as disciples, one after another, blasted out their refined essence like reverse cultivation fireworks. Birds flying overhead veered off in terror as radiant beams shot into the sky. The bathroom area resembled a ruined battlefield. Disciples lay curled up in fetal positions, their souls seemingly drifting from their bodies. The air was thick with a foul stench and swarming flies, a nauseating aroma hanging heavily over the sect. Gwyn walked out of the sect slowly, hands clasped behind his back, his face pale and his eyes sunken. He took in the fresh air with trembling breaths, tears silently streaming down his cheeks. Yunnan sect. Stinks too much. It was the 15th year of the Lingyuan era, infamously remembered as the year of the 15 tragedies. Yet no one in the mortal world knew about this particular one. Scene change. Norung flung open a window and grumbled, Master really is something else. Sending me a letter asking me to return to Tian Cave, and even to wear a disguise? I mean, come on. I'm a nobody. Who in the entire city would recognize me? He remembered earlier when a black cat had been gnawing on the letter that arrived. It contained only a single line from his master: climb the mountain to find me. Don't let anyone recognize you. Now, dressed in a black assassin's outfit and wearing a mask that covered his eyes, Norung turned to look at the black cat lazily stretching on the table. Don Seer, if anything happens, stop it for me, he said seriously. Then he suddenly slapped his forehead and chuckled awkwardly. "Oh right, what am I even saying? You're just a kitten. Old man, you just stay here and rest." The black cat squinted its eyes and gave a satisfied, toothy grin. No Rung stepped onto the windowsill, crouched in position, then stomped his foot. In an instant, he soared into the sky, leaving behind hazy energy trails around the window frame. One hand gripping his hood, he flew at high speed. Why would Master call me up the mountain? Could it be he misses me? That's right. Getting old. He probably just wants someone to talk to. As he zoomed past the city gates, the guard soldiers were startled, pointing up in confusion. Huh? What was that? Did a giant butterfly just fly by? It was huge. Standing on a tree branch, No Rung looked back and scolded, "You're the giant butterfly. What kind of guards are you anyway? With you protecting the city, no wonder we have so many problems." With that, he jumped to the ground, the hazy moonlight filtering through the leaves as he ran like a true assassin. Through the silent forest, his pace was swift, weaving and gliding between tree trunks like a shadow. Eventually, he slowed down, sensing he had entered a safer zone where no one would recognize him. Just then, his instincts kicked in. He glanced to the side and quickly hid behind a large tree trunk. A moment later, he spotted another figure moving swiftly through the woods, also dressed like an assassin. "I'm not the only one being cautious," he thought, adjusting his hood. "Things have been too chaotic lately. Why not find out more?" Without hesitation, he turned and dashed forward, quietly tailing the mysterious figure. It didn't take long for him to realize the assassin was a woman. She glanced back every so often, clearly sensing someone was following her. No Rung, hidden behind the trees, watched her movements with growing interest. "She's fast. Definitely up to something shady," he thought with a mischievous grin. "Now this is getting interesting." But the direction that figure was heading in, it was toward Master's Tian-in cave. Could she be an old acquaintance of Master's? Noran wondered silently. The female assassin flew ahead at high speed, confident she was almost at her destination. But just then, a surge of violent energy burst up from the ground behind her. Startled, she spun mid-air and evaded the incoming attack with remarkable agility. As the white smoke cleared, she landed with a light thud, alert, tense. In front of her now stood a massive white beast with crimson eyes blazing like coals. How could there be a snow treader here? She thought in disbelief. The creature growled, its sharp fangs glinting in the moonlight. It was indeed a large white wolf, clearly hostile. No Rung sat perched on a high branch nearby, observing the situation with a hand under his chin. That beast shouldn't be here. Snow treaders are supposed to dwell in the Tueo region, not this far out. So why has it appeared here? He narrowed his eyes. And can that mysterious woman even handle it? The tension in the air crackled as sweat formed around the woman's eyes. Yet she pressed forward, her steps steady despite the danger. Suddenly, the snow treader leapt over her, landing in front and cutting off her escape. Its feral red eyes locked onto her, radiating bloodlust. The woman's face tensed as she quickly drew her sword. Her voice rang out, clear and sharp. "I came here only to find someone. I've no intention of causing trouble. But if you insist on barring my path, I'll have no choice but to defend myself." No Rung blinked in surprise. "It's a woman?" He hesitated, conflicted. "Should I help or not? We're not friends or anything. There's no reason for me to step in. Should I help or not? We're not friends or anything. There's no reason for me to step in." He paused. But still. She's clearly outmatched. And as a righteous young man, no, a dashing hero, how can I just stand by? The thought of leaping in gallantly, sword gleaming, cloak fluttering, tickled his pride. A young hero. Yeah, sounds pretty good. The snow treader let out a low growl, its aura surging around it like a wave of pressure. It dug its claws into the ground and let out a thunderous roar, shaking the trees around it. Yoshibo clutched her hood with both hands, her pitch-black eyes locked onto the beast. She lowered into a fighting stance. No Rung scratched his ear and sighed. Why does every fight have to start with all this shouting? Does yelling really make you stronger? He clicked his tongue. This old boy's about to throw himself into trouble again, isn't he? With a furious howl, the snow treader launched itself forward, charging straight at Yoshibo. She raised her sword to block the strike, but the force behind the beast's attack was overwhelming. Her blade was knocked from her hands, flying out and plunging into the earth several meters away. She skidded back helplessly, dragging a long groove in the dirt. The wolf didn't stop, it charged forward, eyes gleaming with lethal intent. No Rung spat out the blade of grass he'd been chewing and sighed, jumping down from the tree. Looks like I really have to butt into someone else's mess tonight. Yoshibo retreated quickly, panic rising in her chest. What do I do now? Am I going to die here? The snow treader leapt once more, its massive jaws wide open to deliver a fatal blow. Yoshibo's face went pale. She looked up, frozen, uncertain, weaponless, and with nowhere left to run. She closed her eyes, resigned to her fate, preparing to accept death without resistance. Just then, a gust of wind whooshed past, accompanied by a brilliant flash of five-colored light. The snow treader halted abruptly, turning its head left and right in confusion. Its prey had vanished. No Rung now held Yoshibo in his arms as he soared through the sky. Don't be afraid, he said calmly. Yoshibo looked up at him with stunned eyes, the tension in her heart easing. Feeling safe for the first time, she closed her eyes and rested her head gently on his shoulder. A short while later, No Rung landed behind a large tree and carefully lowered her to the ground, hiding her from sight. He turned to her with a reassuring smile, the very image of a dashing hero. Yoshibo blushed and turned her gaze away shyly. Thank you, she murmured, thoughts swirling. Was he following me earlier? Kneeling on one knee and leaning against the tree, she spoke, my leg. It's injured. No Rung glanced down at her leg, then turned to walk away, calling over his shoulder, wait here. I'll be right back. She instinctively reached out. That was a snow treader. It's equivalent to a cultivator at the 5th stage of Tiansha. You should leave quickly. We have no connection, there's no reason for you to risk your life. Although No Rung replied casually, it's fine, his thoughts were in chaos. 5th stage of Tiansha? There are stages? Then what stage am I at? 6th at least, right? As he approached, the snow treader stomped the ground angrily and lunged. But No Rung looked at it calmly and smiled. Hey, little one, aren't you supposed to be in too? What are you doing all the way out here? To his surprise, the massive white wolf suddenly sat down obediently in front of him, panting nervously and pointing in a direction with its paw. I'll take you back, No Rung said. Or just head back yourself. The beast let out a happy whine and, without warning, pounced forward to hug him, drooling all over his shoulder. Watch it. You're dripping on me, No Rung scolded. After the affectionate embrace, the snow treader turned and trotted obediently into the forest, looking back with a wag of its tail and a raised paw, almost as if waving goodbye. Yoshibo stared at the scene in stunned silence. Who on earth is he? She thought. The snow treader was so gentle with him. Like a tame puppy. She looked down, her expression becoming solemn. And here I am, how can I even show my face again in front of Lin Zudong or Intrangon? No Rung returned and knelt beside her, reaching into his robe. It's all right, he said gently, sitting down and lifting her injured foot. Let me check it. Startled, Yoshibo blushed deeply and tried to pull her foot back. I didn't expect you to be such a pervert, she said, embarrassed and hurt. She thought bitterly, so he's just another guy who gets excited around girls. No Rung paused, clearly confused. How am I being a pervert? He asked sincerely. She pressed her hand to her chest and looked at him warily. Are you really pretending to be so innocent? I honestly don't know what you're talking about, he replied. I just want to see how badly you're hurt. Ignoring her protests, he carefully placed her leg on his lap. Don't move, he said. There's a lot of blood. If your tendons or bones are injured, it could get worse. He gently removed her shoe and examined the wound. I have other matters to attend to and can't stay, but I can't leave you like this either. It's too dangerous, especially with spirit beasts like the snow treader roaming around. He looked out toward the forest, his expression thoughtful. They all come from Blue Lake. There might be more people wandering nearby. Yoshibo's eyes were filled with sorrow. Don't you know? It's improper to look at a girl's feet. No Rung, unfazed, used 2 fingers to cast a healing spell and stop the bleeding. Why? He asked. Her face turned red as she looked away. Nothing, she muttered. Could he really be this clueless? He continued, You'll feel a tingling sensation. Bear with it. I'll stop the bleeding, but I don't have any medicine with me, so I can't completely heal the wound. Yoshibo's eyes widened with curiosity. Who exactly are you? I'm no one worth mentioning, he said with a relaxed smile. Just a nameless traveler. But the snow treader reacted to you like a mouse seeing a cat. No Rung chuckled and casually lifted her foot again. Since I was little, I've thrashed its siblings and even its parent. Of course it's scared of me. As he spoke, he pulled a roll of bandages from his robe and quickly wrapped her wound with practiced hands. All right, the bleeding stopped. But the injury is deep. You should get to the nearest town and see a real doctor. If it's not too bad, you might still need to rest for 10 or 15 days. No walking. Yoshibo turned her head to look behind them, her mind still on the task her master had given her. I haven't completed my mission yet. Before she could protest, No Rung bent down and picked her up in his arms. She blinked, confused. What are you doing? He replied firmly, I can't leave you like this. In your condition, it's best I get you to safety. Just then, he heard footsteps and turned his head. The snow treader was running back toward them. Huh? You're still here? He asked, puzzled. The massive white wolf stopped in front of them, lowered its body, and waited obediently. Understanding dawned on No Rung's face. Ah! You came to help take this lady to the city gate. The wolf gave a soft growl of agreement. Seeing her hesitation, No Rung gently reassured her. Don't worry, it won't hurt you. He carefully placed Yoshibo onto the white wolf's back. If you haven't made up your mind, you don't have to listen to me anymore, he said. Yoshibo looked at him earnestly. I don't even know your name. Just call me Liang, he replied with a smile. I'm Louis Bo from Tianling, she said, introducing herself as she sat upright on the snow treader's back. Will we meet again? No Rung began walking deeper into the forest, waving casually over his shoulder. If fate allows. We'll meet again. Scene change. Some time later, No Rung arrived at the entrance of a secluded cave. He cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted, Master, your loyal disciple has returned. A voice echoed from within, Come in. He glanced around the chaotic battlefield outside the cave and frowned. What on earth happened here? Stepping inside, he pulled off his hood with a sigh. Master, it's a complete mess outside. You haven't cleaned it up. Inside, the old man grinned and beckoned him over. Come here. Let me take a look, see if my little dung has grown taller. No Rung narrowed his eyes, suspicious. Why are you being so enthusiastic? Are you planning something? Luring me closer so you can strike me? The old man scowled. What kind of master do you think I am? It's been years since I last saw you. I just want to see if you've gotten thinner or fatter. No wonder they say kindness is wasted on a dog, No Rung muttered, looking suspicious. You really won't hit me? Master Nocton turned away in a huff. Suit yourself. Stand if you like. Still wary, No Rung carefully sat down beside him, flashing a charming smile. Master, my dear master, why are you so angry? You're getting older, you should learn to be more easygoing. It's only been half a month, and your disciple misses you so much. Humph. You've only been gone a short while, and already your mouth has gotten even slicker. What kind of nonsense have those brats down there been teaching you? They didn't teach me anything, No Rung replied innocently. They're all good people. Suddenly, Nocton swung a punch at him. You little brat! You come back and don't bring anything for me. But master, No Rung protested, rubbing his shoulder, you said you wouldn't hit me. That wasn't a strike. That was just a friendly nudge. No Rung reached into his robe with a smug look. Have I ever returned from the mountain without bringing something nice for you? Lucky for you, I brought Queen's pastries. Had to wait in line the entire day. He handed over the baked goods and then turned away with mock irritation. Tch, stinky old man. But Nocton opened the box with a delighted smile. Aha! You really are a good disciple. He munched happily and asked, So, who've you met over the last 2 weeks? I've bumped into all sorts of folks from various sects and schools, but I honestly can't remember their names. Every day's so boring I could die. But I've been doing exactly as you said, pretending to be a big shot. Nocton's eyes lit up. If you can't remember, forget it. Just a few people, nothing worth remembering. No Rung tilted his head curiously. Master, are you, like, super powerful? What makes you ask that? Well, all those sect members kept bringing you up, asking about how you've been. I'm not dumb, so I just said you're doing great and are very health conscious. Nocton blinked, surprised. Am I really that famous? But I've got a bad feeling about this upcoming Heavenly Tea Grand Meeting. Our sect is surely doomed. He leaned back and sighed. These past days I've been making pills for the sect. Every one of those who took them ended up camping in the toilet. No Rung raised his hands defensively. I just followed your instructions. The books you gave me were super clear. I'm sure anyone who read them could make the same pills. Master Nocton's face darkened. You fool! In this world, alchemists are divided into 9 grades. Have you ever wondered why 2 people using the same ingredients produce such different results?